Hello, everyone. My name is Snipiness Fun, and today's topic I've been wanting to talk about for a little while now, and I was questioning and debating myself whether or not I actually wanted to talk about this in a video topic. But I'm like, hey, might as well go for it. Everyone else is going and giving their 2 cents, and as a gamer that's been a gamer for as long as I can remember, and with this being one of the main media things back in the day before social media and the internet really took off with stuff like YouTube. This was a major way, besides magazines and whatnot, you could really kind of get gaming news and also watch entertainment that was based off gaming. And you should probably know what I'm talking about when it comes to this topic by the name of the video, but I'm talking about G4 Tech TV, and I want to give my 2 cents on them returning, my thoughts back then, and the overall fact that we don't need G4 Tech TV anymore. As sad as it is to say, we don't need G4 anymore. And I want to go into that on this video. So, before I go fully onto it and get into, all the stupidity that these people that run this channel online and on whatever the heck now, with the return of G4 like a month or two ago, whatever it was, I want to start off basically going on about my history with G4. Like a lot of you out there, I remember watching G4 back in the day when it was, it first came out during the mid 2000s, like right before YouTube really would have started taking off. I remember getting back into it. I know it started years prior to when I started watching it. I started like in the earlier 2000s, but like I got into it probably around 2005. I think I was in ninth grade. I don't think it was 2004. It might have been, I think it was 2005. It was like early-ish, mid, going into like finishing off ninth grade. I remember the first time I started watching it, when my friends were over, we were playing video games. I was just looking through the channel. I seen a video game related channel, and the fact that back then, something like that was not normal. You didn't really see too much gaming related content on TV. I was interested, but I wasn't going to watch it till he left. I went back to the down that channel, and that was G4. I started watching it. The first show I actually started watching was Judgment Day, or what it would probably be better known as Reviews on the Run, Victor Lucas and Tommy Tallarico. I think it was a hockey game they were talking about, if I recall. Whatever hockey game was out at the time. Somewhere like that, at least in that episode. But I remember watching that and I was like 15 years old, and seeing being such a gamer, loving video games, and seeing this content presented to me on TV, talking about video games, reviewing video games, doing video game related content. And it was like, okay, there was Judgment Day, then there was X Play, there was Cheat, Cinematech, G4 Tech TV, there was Arena, there was all these other great shows. I remember during especially high school watching those and loving those, especially early high school when it was still the PS2, GameCube, Xbox generation. That generation was like the most fun to watch G4. I slowly got out of it as they were really pushing forward with like the PS3, Wii, and 360 generation for various reasons. I just think the content started getting a little less interesting, and like some of the content they were cutting off, they were cutting a lot of their shows off. That's when they started really pushing cheaters and cops and like various things like they were talking about and whatnot. I just kind of got a little annoyed, and I kind of watched less and less, but I still watched quite a bit like during that early Wii, PS3, 360 generation. But definitely the PS2, GameCube, Xbox, I watched a whole hell of a lot of those shows. I loved watching X-Play. I loved watching Judgment Day and Cinematech, G4 Tech TV, Arena, and all that stuff. Arena was cool because that was like my earliest memories of seeing like what was like, pro gaming kind of stuff, like people doing like tourneys and stuff like that. And then they did like the side stuff, like when Code Monkeys came out. That was just entertaining. That's not something you probably would ever see nowadays, given some of the jokes and stuff they kind of did in that show. But given that I was a gamer, I kind of got a lot of the references. It was interesting to get a lot of like those back behind the scenes references about video games and video game culture and like the animated series. Code Monkeys was so much fun. But like before this gets way out of the hand, talking about like a history, I used to watch it back then, and I loved watching it back then because back then that was before YouTube took off. That was before we. I'm sorry, I'm just blanking there. Before we kind of got other means, like we had alternatives to something like that. Like you really, in order to, as a gamer back then in the 2000s, and this would apply pretty much to like the 90s as well, you really didn't have much to really look at in terms of entertainment for video games. There were certain shows here and there, little like quiz things and little whatever the heck online. There was no major content really, I think, until the push of something like YouTube and user-created content and like what you see nowadays. And we had to rely on something like G4. And back then, G4 was so much fun to watch, and we saw stuff like that like on TV or on the internet as a gamer, or in relying on like magazines and whatnot too, and movies and videos and stuff like that, like CDs that came with magazines and whatnot. It was entertaining back then. That was the only means we had to get information like that and to get entertainment like that. But the problem is now, for years, we wanted G4 to return. G4 disappeared around what, like 2012, 13? I was still in college when G4 finally closed their doors. And by the end of it, it was really not worth watching anyways. That was when the channel was overtaken, especially by cheaters and by cops. And it was very much not a video game related centric channel. It became more entertainment and then less about like technology and entertainment and all the other stuff. And then it disappeared. And for years, we wanted to see it come back. We wanted to see the return of G4. And it finally happened. It was announced, and I think they came back around late last year. Like mid, like the summer into the fall. Like they didn't start doing officially the channel related stuff until I think the beginning of this year, end of last year kind of thing. They started really getting into what they were supposed to be like a big main channel, bringing all these. They brought in some YouTubers like Gerard and whatnot, and brought in new people. And you still had people like Adam Sessler and whatnot. But I recall last year them like Adam Sessler, there was like the X-Play YouTube channel, and they did stuff like that. And there was stuff that was starting to come out. It just didn't become its full-fledged return of G4 until most recently. But back then we didn't really have too many alternatives. Nowadays we have a ton. If I want to go watch video game related content online, YouTube or otherwise, I have so many options. I cannot even begin to watch all of it unless I'm planning months ahead to watch a bunch of different content. Weeks ahead, days ahead, months ahead. But like this, and I'm going to be getting into the new G4 in 1 second. This is going into that. Like nowadays, people wanted G4 to come back. It finally came back. And it's been very questionable. I have not watched, as sad as it is, since, like, I was a big fan back then. Besides a few things back on YouTube last year before G4 finally made its full return, I haven't watched a single bit of the return because, like a lot of you out there, I've seen what happened on X-Play and the whole Frost situation and what Adam Sessler is saying, the other people that work for there. I've seen the whole damn social media crap on Twitter. I've seen what Frost, or whatever the hell her name is, mentioned on the damn actual channel. I've seen everything it is. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's not what G4 was ever about. A lot of the topics they went into detail on, and a lot of the crap they talked behind the scenes on social media on, was never even remotely in the front back on G4 back then. And but that's also because social media wasn't a lot really back then. But like nowadays, and this isn't even just to deal with G4, but it has to deal with celebrities in general. A lot of like those people that get their names in the spotlight, show up online, show up on TV and movies and stuff like that. They have a voice now. With social media, people have a voice now. And it's not even just on social media anymore. It's you literally see this inside the content they have on there. I've seen what they mentioned. I've seen all that stuff. And once I seen all that stuff, I knew they didn't want certain people watching their channel, and they were attacking certain people, and they were calling out their fan base. When you're trying to revive G4, you don't want to freaking bite the hand that feeds you and attack consumers and tell them you don't want them as fans. You don't attack viewers and say you want certain people as fans, not certain people as fans. These are who I want as fans, these are people I don't want as fans, and call out controversies. that you think are important enough to talk about over a video game channel, that people just want to see you do skits and reviews and discuss video games. What video games am I interested in? What's the future of gaming? What am I looking forward to? Top 10 lists, stuff like that. Video game related content that entertains, because us as gamers, we want to see entertainment. Not to be shoved stuff down on us and talked down to and pushing agendas and all sort of stuff that's, infiltrate every other industry in the world, and the gaming industry is no different. Like, we don't need, like I said before, beginning of this video, we don't need G4 anymore because there's other options out there, and other options that we can be entertained by, other options that if we want to go find gaming entertainment, we can go watch. G4 is trying to make a return from the grave, and stupendous fashion, they freaking almost shot themselves in the foot. Actually, let's be fair, they shot themselves in both feet pretty much the second they started, outside of some of that YouTube stuff they did back last year. I've seen some of that stuff, and that stuff was entertaining. And if they kind of pushed that and focused on that as the game, in the main return of it, I think that would have been better. But they immediately lash out against, and I don't want to get into detail, I hate talking about real world situations and politics and all that other stuff. I said that on Twitter before, even though I don't like using Twitter all that much except for my CKW stuff and posting my art. I hate what the internet has become. I hate the whole social media push nowadays where you see people attacking each other, and we can't have a civil debate anymore. People attack you for not thinking the same way as they do and whatnot, stuff like that. And I hate talking about real world situations because it's supposed to be escapism. You deal with the real world stuff when it's appropriate. It's not supposed to be shoved into entertainment. It's not supposed to be in your face 24/7. And some people, like Frost, freaking want it to be everywhere. And then they use this special time they have in this little section of the show to talk down on certain gamers and talk down on this and all the stuff about the gaming industry and this and that and whatever the heck else. I don't like talking about this stuff. That's why you've never seen me mention stuff like that. Very hardly ever. Maybe one or two random videos here and there ever on my channel. I don't like talking about real world situations. I like talking about entertaining things. I like talking about fun stuff. I like talking about anime and wrestling and video games and stuff like that. I don't like bringing real world situations into my video content or anything about my online persona, from Twitter to Facebook to YouTube to whatever. I don't like talking about that stuff because I find that stuff boring. I don't know how people online can live with that stuff 24/7. But like, they shot themselves in the foot. They attacked people online. There's Adam Sessler doing his bullcrap online. There's Frost doing a little segment on X-Play. There's certain producers that are doing their own 2 cents online and on the show and whatnot. There's all this stuff, and they're not stopping. They think that they can continue pushing forward, attacking the fan base, attacking consumers, attacking viewers, and continue to push G4 back to its glory days. It's never going to reach that. First off, because there's so much competition now. Second off, because you are being selective on who you want as your viewers, and you are basically attacking people out, verbally typing out, and even whatever, like, attacking people. Like, you're being so damn selective whatsoever. I can't understand, not just G4, but any celebrity, any producer for a movie or a TV show or for a video game, people that do anything, they go out of their way with hate rhetoric and attacking people through interviews, through the internet, through websites, through journalism, and attack people online, hoping that, that's somehow going to bring on viewers for my video game or my TV show or my movie or whatever like this, and then we're not going to lose money. And it negatively affected a lot of people that done that stupid crap. There's video games that lost money because they go out of their way to be stupid, like Battlefield 5. There's movies that went out of their way and then stupid stuff because whatever, and they've been negatively affected, like some of the MCU movies, like Eternals. There's TV shows where people are goddamn stupid and attack fans or people for even questioning the decisions they make, like frickin' the Netflix Cowboy Bebop. I don't get how businesses nowadays can do all this hate rhetoric, attack viewers, be very selective of who they want and who they don't want as viewers and consumers and buyers, and think that's going to get them by. I want to get into some graphic designs. You know, the artwork I've shown you, my drawings, I've sold my artwork. I want to one day make that graphic design career something more than just that. Like, besides just selling my artwork, I want to get into maybe graphic novels one day. I want to do something more with myself one day. I want to, but also in the process, make money, grow fan base. I'm not going to be selective of who the hell wants to buy my stuff. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care about any of that stuff. People nowadays care way too much about who they are or what they are, or how much they're assuming as people are different, and they use that to batter each other and stuff like that and attack each other. Oh, I'm not going to buy from this person because they're this. I'm not going to buy from this person because they're that. I'm not going to sell to you because you do this or think that. I don't care. If you're interested in buying any product I make, that interest alone is me and you making the business sale, and you're interested in my artwork. I'm interested in selling you artwork or whatever the product is. And that's it. I make money, you get a product. That's it. That's how business should work. I don't care what you are. I don't care who you are. None of that freaking matters. In my line of what I want to do, I'm selling artwork. I'm doing some sort of digital media type project or whatever it is. And my goal is to sell it to as many people that are interested in buying my product. And that applies to anyone else out there, any business, any corporation, any creative person that sells their stuff. That should be what it is. You should not care about who is buying your goddamn stupid product. You should be caring about that they want to buy it in the first place. Or view it, or watch it, or something. I'm tired of seeing people online do stuff like that. And that's what G4 is. Adam Sessler's going off online talking about this or that. Frost did her stupid little thing, and she's not stomping on the damn freaking Twitter and whatnot. They got one of their producers saying this. You never saw this back in the day with freaking Tommy Tallarico or Victor Lucas. You never saw this back in the day. I don't even think Morgan Webb even really ever did much of anything. Adam, all these people, and there was social media, there was online. G4 was going into the YouTube years, but like, I'm sorry. I'm just tired of different corporations over these and you notice that over the last couple of years, they're being very selective of what they want to sell, and they have certain marketing strategies that are trying to who they want to target and who they don't want as viewers to fight each other. They go out of their way. Journalists especially go out of their way to cause these problems. And I'm freaking tired of it. G4 is not going to survive with that mentality. None of these companies, corporations, TV shows, movies, products are going to. And we've seen countless ones fail. We've seen certain ones survive and thrive, but that's a whole different topic. But like, we've seen a lot of this rhetoric negatively affect these products. And they think, oh, we've been gone for like 10 years. Or about, I don't know, 8 to 9 years. Let's bring it back. Gamers want to see us, and then you give them content that's not entertaining. They're like, people are coming back to G4 because they want to see stuff like Arena, like do like pro, Evo type gaming stuff. They want to see top 10 lists like Cheat. I mean, like Cinematech or whatever the other one is. I'm trying to think out. They want to see Cinematech stuff where you show stuff off. They want to see XPlay in reviews on the run / Judgment Day for game reviews. They want to see top 10 lists. They want to see skits like XPlay used to do, or freaking even Code Monkeys would do stuff like that. They want to see entertaining stuff because us as gamers and as watching entertainment, we want to be entertained. And G4, like, they just basically came back, and I don't see them lasting a year. Maybe 2 at most, because their viewership has went down. People are not watching them like they used to. Back then, like I said earlier in this video, there was no other option mostly back then. You had magazines and stuff like that. You saw some online articles and maybe a few little online videos on GameSpot or whatever here and there. but you didn't really have a full-fledged gaming anything to look at and watch besides G4 for the most part. And now we have social media. Now we have stuff like YouTube coming around. And if I want to watch gaming entertainment nowadays, I can watch, let's just go on YouTube. I could watch like Kadikarus. I could watch the Game Chasers. I could watch the Game Grumps. I could watch Game Theory. I could watch Metal Jesus Rocks. I could watch Happy Console Gamer. I could watch Josh Scorcher. I could watch the Green Scorpion. I could watch freaking Angry Joe. I could watch a bunch of other freaking things that do more entertaining stuff than what G4 is likely going to do. And they don't go out of their way to attack people. Now, there's certain YouTubers out there that fall into the G4 camp, and they vocalize their stuff, and it's been negatively affecting like them too over the years. But then there's other ones that either stay out of that crap, or if they do talk about that crap, it's separate from their videos. They don't put it into their videos, and they also don't put it into the ways of, if you don't think like me, I don't want you as a viewer. They just say, if you want to watch me, watch my entertainment. You may not agree with me, but that's fine. I don't care. You have your way of thinking. I have my way of thinking, and we'll leave it at that. There are certain YouTubers that go all the way to the moon and frickin' are so vocal it does negatively affect them, and it does get into their YouTube content. There's ones that stay out of it completely. There's ones in the middle that don't care. They may have their viewpoints, but that's not going to affect who they want as a viewer. They want to get as many views as possible. And as for a YouTuber, that's kind of the main freaking point. I could watch any of those other channels. I could watch the Angry Video Game Nerd. I could watch Irate Gamer. I could watch a bunch of other content. I could watch Retro Rick. I could watch anything else dealing with video games that I don't have to watch G4. And then that's sad as a viewer watching it back then and knowing that it's not the be-all end-all anymore like it was, because it was lightning in the bottle at the time, but now it's just another thing, like all these other YouTubers, like all these other creators. But it also doesn't make me sad, because what they've become, I really don't want to see continue. And I really don't want to see them keep going, because of people like that have done and said stuff they've done over the last month. G4 is not needed anymore. We don't need G4 anymore. They need us. Us speaking out, us getting our voices heard, and us being there is what they need. And it's not happening like they were planning on. And the way they've acted has lost them more viewers than they probably would like to admit. And are they going to change their ways? More than likely not, because it's been a month and they still act like complete jackasses. And they're going to come out and complain when G4 eventually dies. Oh no, the fans are this and the fans are that and every other name under the sun. But really, it's all your fault for what you've done to G4. G4 could have just been another name alongside all the names I just mentioned as a YouTube channel and like gaming content online. But you're going to fall to the wayside and die because your egos are going to get too much the better of you. And we've seen companies and creators do that stuff, and it's negatively affected them for years. And they never learn. So with that being said, that's my video. I went on 23 minutes. Oh my god. This is the reason why I don't like talking about this stuff. I go on. Don't worry, folks. We'll get to more fun, interesting videos really, really soon. I hope you guys like this video. Put in the comment section what you guys think. What do you guys think about the return of G4? What are your memories of G4? And do you think the G4 nowadays could turn around and go back to their glory days? Or do you think they're going to die out sooner or later? And also, yeah, whatever. Put in the comments what you guys think. My name is Thankful1. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day. And I'll see you all later in the next video. Bye, everyone.